Um, Hello everybody. Today I'm going to talk how to respond to emergency regarding H2S in any laboratory, right? Before we have been talking about how to respond to fire alarm and H2S. Now we are going to talk how to respond to fire alarm when in terms of H2S or any chemical leakage, right? So, the first step, when you upon hearing a alarm or you suspected that there is a leakage of any toxic chemical, well, toxic simply means that something that is toxic to the system, right? Whether you can inhale it, when you inhale it, it can create damage to the system. Sometimes it can make you dizzy or get fainted. So those are toxic things, right? So how you can respond to those things? First, in working in any laboratory, you have to have a mask, right? Whenever you are dealing with a toxic substance or chemical, you have to wearing a mask. You have something they call as the SCBC. This is self-breathing contained apparatus mask, which is specially designed for people working in a labs or whenever there is a toxic leakage. So let's come to the point. If there is any emergency or H2S regarding any chemical, right? The first thing you have to do, the procedures, right? Because we normally have an assemble point, right? Where is the safest area? Then we have the team that's called the emergency response teams, who in case of any emergency they are going to respond to that. But the part is that you have to, you as a staff or you as a visitor, you have to know the procedures whenever there is any leakage or any occurrence of emergency, how you can fight to save your life, how you can fight to come out from that situation. So the first thing you have to do, your PPE, right? Whenever you are going to any place that they are dealing with chemical, you have to use your safety, your PPE on, right? Whatever things you are touching, then you have to use the mask, right? Then you have to wear your coverall, so you have to use those things. So now we're talking about how to respond to emergency whenever there is a chemical leakage. So the first point we have to talk about, number one, you have to, whenever there is any leakage or emergency, the fire alarm, right, or the H2S alarm, first you have to avoid panic and control your nerves and analyze the situation before taking any further action. Whenever you see there is any emergency, you have to calm your nerves. Don't be at a rush, right? You have to look for the correct route, the emergency route you can use, right? So you have to avoid panic. Then number two, you have to press the alarm. Maybe other people are not aware of that situation, so you have to press the alarm bell, right? We have some alarm bell which are around, which is called the MCP. This MCP, it's called the manual call point, right? So you have to press this manual point and it will raise an alarm that, oh, there is an emergency. So all people that are around, they will immediately know that there is a situation. They will find the nearest exit route to go to the assemble point, right? So this is called a manual call point, right? Then number three, you have to alert. You have to alert about the fire in a loud voice and ask them to evacuate immediately. So you have to be shouting, evacuate the building, there is an emergency, evacuate the building. So you have to help others. There is an emergency, you have to help others. That is number three. Then number four, you have to disconnect the electrical power or the circuits and close all access gas nerve, right? If there is a gas leak, you have to close it. But by closing it, you have to make sure that we have the SLB, the self-breathing apparatus around. You have to put on your mask and you try to close the electrical current and the gas switch. You have to try to close it very fast, right? So after closing it, you have to find a way how you can exit that route, right? Then you're talking about number five. You have to call the emergency numbers, right? You call the emergency numbers that there is an emergency. Then you have any facility, you have their teams, the H2S responders. You have to inform them immediately, or you inform the civil defense or the public authorities which are responsible for that one, right? Then number six, if the fire is minor or you know how to extinguish the starting using this suitable fire extinguisher, right? So if you know how to contain this situation, you have to do it. That means if you are trained on that one, right? So you have to use the fire extinguisher. If you know that this fire you can solve it, then you assess the fire, then you can extinguish it with the chemicals that you have. You understand? They have a specific chemical that is used, the specific extinguisher that is used for chemicals. So you have to use that specific one, which they are designed for that situation, right? Then number 7, in case of any leakage or open the window, right, or ventilated the lab. So that means, it simply means that if there is any leakage, you have to try to open the windows, right? Open the windows so at least breeze will come inside, so at least it will reduce, Then also, if any person gets like someone is collapsed due to this chemical leakage, you have to try to remove that person outside. So they have a military training, like how you can carry someone on your shoulder, how to evacuate with this person, because maybe if you leave this person inside where this chemical are, it will keep on inhaling it and it will lead to another problem. So how you can carry someone to evacuate with another person is more also important, right? Then number 9, using appropriate equipment and material like sand to restrict spilling. So like now, if there is any leakage, spillage in the floor, so you have to have a training of how to use the spillage kits, how to use these kits. Right, there's a sand where you can try to cover this spillage, and how you can, there's a plastic inside, how you can wrap it. You can use your gloves, you have your kits that you can use, right? Then number 10, try to provide first aid to victim and make sure there is no risk while evacuating them, right? So whenever a victim, right, maybe someone fell or what, or the chemical affects someone, you have to know how to evacuate these people to the safest assemble point. So you have to monitor that one. So number 11, evacuating the school building immediately. Evacuate any building like the labs or any other place immediately through the emergency exit escape route, right? So in every facility, that's why the HSC come on board to put mechanism for an emergency occurrence. Which one is like if there is a fire alarm, like any fire occur, where is the nearest assemble point, where is the exit route, right? The evacuation plan. Then also we have for the HS2, right? Whenever there is an HS2, so you have to know the evacuation route, right? So there are also a special lights that are put to give direction that people supposed to use, right? Then also for medical insurance, first aid, how you can respond to somebody, how you can help a victim or a casualty in that situation. So those trainings have been done. So that's why you see some governments, they are putting mechanism on training people how to respond to these things, right? Because in every facility, fire is accident is an inevitable circumstance. It can occur at any time. That is accident. Accident can occur at any time. So basically, these are the steps which you're supposed to use if there is any occurrence in a lab, right, where they are working with chemical. First, you have to avoid panic. Then you have to press the alarm, to inform people. Then number 3, you have to speak in loud voice by informing people also while you are evacuating the building. Then you have to disconnect all power. Sometimes they have any emergency stop. In some labs, they have emergency stop to shut down everything, right? So like, because I was working in the X-ray system, like whenever scanning machine, whenever there's emergency, you have the e-stop. This is called the emergency stop. You have to immediately press it to shut down the system, right? Then you have to call the emergency number. So most company, they have the emergency contact number that is supposed to call, right? Then also you have to know which fire extinguisher to use in chemical. You have to know which fire extinguisher. Then also you have to keep windows open that particular period, you understand? Then people that are around outside that window, you have to tell them to push far away because toxic chemical can affect the system, right? Then also we have the self-breathing apparatus. This is called a self-breathing apparatus, right? So there is a mask you're supposed to use in the lab. Then also you have to use sand. This is spillage kits, but this is sand. There is a sand. Sometimes they put it in any facility if there is a spillage of chemical in the ground. So they use that sand to condom that area, to barricade that area, right? Then also in trying to clean that one, you should know how to clean this one. You should be trained on spillage, right? Then also we have the assemble point. So the assemble point, people should know the assemble point in case of any emergency. So I will stop here, and any question you further, any question you would like to ask, no problem. Thank you. So I only deliberate on the emergency procedures for any chemical lab or any place you are working where there is a chemical, a toxic chemical, how you can evacuate that building and how you can help others. So I will stop here, and thank you very much.